I'm JNeps MMA. This is my recap and breakdown of UFC Fight Night Vegas 99. Anthony Hernandez versus Michel Pereira. This card was straight dog water. There was only 2 finishes on this card, and they were all in the last round. There were some exciting fights, but this entire card was boring. It was just horrible dog water ass fights, bro. I predicted it would be better than UFC 98. I was completely wrong. This fight was horrible. Before we get on to the first fight of the night, though, my Yankees are going to the World Series, baby. I told y'all, fools. I told y'all we was going to get 28 this year. This is our year, baby. This is our year. Okay, I know you guys don't care. On to the first fight. We have Robelis Despaingne versus Austen Lane. I picked Robelis Despaingne, and I should not have picked Robelis Despaingne. My Cuban brother, Hacer, I don't know what this man was doing in his training camp. I have no idea what he did for the last couple months, but he did not work out. He did not work out anything in his grappling or learn how to get up. Every single time that Austen Lane would get at least a single leg or the double leg and clinch his hands, he would just dump this man to the ground. And I did not see any improvements on Robelis Despaingne on trying to get back up. He did not know how to get up. He did not use how to use the butterflies to push off the hips of this man. Nothing. This guy was just a freaking dead body any single time it got to the ground. And it showed in the first round when he goes for a leg kick, falls, and Austen Lane falls on it. In the second round, he was winning that fight, but it wasn't really by much. He was just countering whatever Austen Lane would throw at him, and then he'll throw leg kicks. But even in the last minute of the fight, when he had a chance to stuff one of Austen Lane's takedowns, he didn't know how to stuff it. He didn't know how to sprawl. He didn't know how to do anything, and Austen Lane dumped him in the last minute of that second round. And in the third round, Austen Lane really just chased that takedown. He knew that he would just take down Robelis Despaingne and ground and pound his way to victory. But great stuff by Austen Lane, man. He got the dub. Robelis Despaingne, you need a new fight camp. You need a new training camp. I don't know what they're doing in Orlando, bro, but they're not teaching you how to grapple. If you don't know how to grapple, you will not be successful in the heavyweight division. They will just know to take you down, and they'll win the fight. Austen Lane, this was the last fight on your contract. You got a dub. I don't know if the UFC will bring you back, but you won. At least you won in the UFC. On to the next fight. Dog water ass called. We have Melissa Martinez versus Alice Ardelean. I don't even care anymore. I picked Alice Ardelean, I don't care. And Melissa Martinez was literally just bouncing around the entire octagon. She was just doing the Marab, just bouncing everywhere in the octagon. Obviously, she had better striking than Marab, but she was doing a good job in the second round using her kicks and tagging Ardelean, and she even got a nasty axe kick on her and some spinning kicks in the second round. Ardelean was just trying to cut her off in the cage, but you kind of can't do that when a fighter is bouncing from side to side and just moving a lot. You have to kick her in the legs to at least slow her down, and she kind of wasn't doing that. And the result of that was Melissa Martinez basically tagging her up and kicking her way to a victory. And I thought that Ardelean would at least implement the grappling in this fight, but she just said, you know what, let's just make it into a striking battle. And that lost her the fight. Some of these fighters do not have IQ. Whatever, great win by Melissa Martinez. She did what she needed to do. Yeah, on to the next fight. We freaking have Jessica Penne versus Elise Reed. I picked Elise Reed. In the first round, it was close. You can go with Jessica Penne because she was controlling her in the cage and the tie clinch or whatever, but it didn't matter because after that, in the second round, Elise Reed decided to turn it up and was tagging and coming at Jessica Penne and piecing her up with some big meaty hooks. And in the third round, she was just applying the pressure on Penne. Reed stuffed all of this girl's takedowns. She just looked really good out there striking against Penne, and she got the win, bro. Great job by Elise Reed. Yeah, that's all I got. On to the next fight. We got Joselyne Edwards versus Tamires Vidal. I picked Joselyne Edwards to win this fight. She missed weight. Whatever. It's gonna happen. But she was on one tonight, bro. She was really good. She was using her reach really good, tagging Vidal. Even took down Vidal a bunch of times. Vidal really just had nothing for her, bro. In this fight, she just was like a literal punching bag for Joselyne Edwards, or literally a literal training partner for Joselyne Edwards. Like, Joselyne Edwards was literally winning by unanimous. She was literally winning by unanimous decision going into the third round. Like, but in the last seconds of the fight, she got on this chick's back, and got the rear naked choke and squeezed her way into a last second victory against Vidal, you know. And it was just a great win for Joselyne Edwards. Next time, make weight, girl. That's all I gotta say. On to the next fight. We have this one. Brad Katona versus Gene Matsumoto. I picked Gene Matsumoto to win this fight. Brad Katona got robbed. He got robbed. I don't care what anyone says. He did a great job tagging Matsumoto, and he used his elbows to cut this man up. He was getting takedowns even in the last round when it was super close. Like, it was kind of like 1-1, but I just feel like, I don't know, both guys were tagging each other really good, but I just feel like Brad Katona's punches were just more efficient and way better than Matsumoto, and it looked like Brad Katona was leading the dance. This was such a good fight, though. I thought Brad Katona won that third round. He was trying to get a takedown. They were kind of, you know, he was kind of getting stuffed, but it wasn't like Gene Matsumoto was doing anything crazy. He was, you know, Brad Katona was mixing it up in the third round, and he, you know, got this man in a clinch or something, but Matsumoto's still undefeated. I'm not even mad because I got my pick right, but Katona got robbed. And I talked a lot of crap about him in my prediction video, saying, I don't know why you have these old heads on here. He's one that, you know, I kind of got respect for after this fight. But great win by Gene Matsumoto. The judges helped you out there, and Dana White. On to the next fight. Matheus Nicolau versus Assu Almabayev. I picked Assu Almabayev, and this was a really close fight. It just kind of went down to that first round because obviously Matheus Nicolau won the second round, and then Assu won the third. But in the first round, it was super close, but you have to give it to Almabayev. He just did a little bit more. He was kind of more active. I know both fighters were kind of feeling each other out in that first round, but he was just using the leg kicks and just trying to get the fight started. Like, you can tell he was the one trying to initiate something. But in the second round, it was on Nicolau, bro. In that second round, he has so in trouble with that guillotine, bro, that his pants were literally falling off. And when Assu got out of it and he got up, great sportsmanship by Matheus Nicolau, letting him pull his pants up. In the third round, Assu just basically stole the fight, because pretty sure if Matheus Nicolau would have done something, he would have won this fight. But Assu literally caught him with a nasty uppercut, like crazy uppercut that drops him. I said Matheus Nicolau is a little bit chinny, so that probably was gonna happen. And then the entire round, Almabayev did a really good job scrambling with Nicolau and staying on top mount. And it was a great win by Almabayev, man. He really needed. He didn't really need a win, bro, but he got the win. And yeah, Matheus Nicolau, kind of feel bad, but whatever. On to the next fight. Finally, main card. This was a really exciting fight. This is one of the most exciting fights on here. In this card, these old heads went down. They put on a show. I picked Darren Elkins, the damage, and that was a crazy first round when Pineda had him in a guillotine, and this man Elkins was just rolling himself out of there. But earlier in that round, like literally before he got taken down to get guillotined, he caught Pineda with an overhand right. I don't know if that's the what cut him. I don't know what the heck cut Pineda, I'm gonna be honest with you. That man was just bleeding everywhere. It came down to like the elbows for sure. That was just messing up his face. Elkins, Pineda was just painting the canvas red, bro. He was just leaking everywhere, menstrual cycle style, dude. And in that second round, Pineda tries to, do the same thing again, but Elkins reverses, gets on top, and it was just raining down elbows, just making Pineda's face a bloody ass mess. And it all kind of came down to that last round. And after both guys got back up, it was literally who had the most energy, who had the most output, who was gonna win this fight. And basically in the last minute of the third round, Elkins gets a takedown or something, and he gets on top, and he kind of just lays on Pineda, because both of these guys are super exhausted, bro. The pace of this fight was crazy for the first two rounds. And yeah, Elkins wins this fight. I give a bunch of credit to Felder and Elkins for giving Pineda a little bit time for his retirement speech, man, because he's a UFC vet, man, and they gave him some respect, and he called it a career in the octagon. Calling it a career in the apex is pretty sad, but what can you say? The UFC's trash and doesn't want to make this in a live crowd. Some of these fights maybe would have been exciting, maybe more finishes, but whatever. Great one by Darren the Damage Elkins. The CTE is really getting to you, brother. I think you should have called it a career too, brother, because you're slurring your words in there. But great win by the Darren that Damage Elkins, giving out the damage in this fight. On to the next fight. We have Jake Hadley versus Cameron Smotherman. Smotherman's coming in on days notice for Brady Hindstand, who just couldn't make it. Credit to Smotherman for making weight as well. But in the first round, Smotherman did a really good job ripping the body, just pressuring Hadley, and he was just kind of like the one that was just first one to anything. it got interesting in the second round because Hadley eye poked Smotherman pretty bad. It was a pretty deep eye poke, and Smotherman just... I think what fighters have to do a little bit more now when, you know, they get poked in the eye or it's a groin shot, they take their time. And he kept telling Chris Tyone and the doctor, like, oh, you know, it was some Vaseline that fell in my eye, and he was just cleaning it up. And, you know, he was just talking to Tyone and the doctor in there. I don't know if he was rizzing them up, dude. He was like, yo, this is probably the most time any fighter has taken or whatever. And whatever, I guess Tyone kind of respected this guy because finally, in the first time, like probably all year, a point was taken away. Finally, a point was taken away. He warned Hadley before the fight, and he warned Hadley in the first round, and he finally took away a point. Finally, a fighter got something taken away. A point was taken away for Jake Hadley, and coming into that third round, Jake Hadley needed a finish. If not, he was pretty much gonna lose. And Smothers did basically what he did in the first round, ripped the body, knees to the body, and he just had overall more output than Hadley. And it was a great job by Cameron Smothermans, bro. He did really good, man. Cameron Smothermans got a UFC win, man. He's in the UFC. Adrian Yanez's pupil getting the dub in his UFC debut. That's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. On to the next fight. We have Charles Johnson versus Mudaerji. I picked Charles Johnson to win this fight, man, and I thought he was gonna win this fight, and he basically did, man. Charles Johnson in the first round did a good job. Every single time they were in the clinch and they broke off, he would land something on Mudaerji, and Mudaerji was, I don't know how to say his name, I really don't care. He did a really good job tagging Johnson as well. In the second round, the party started. Both guys were just tagging each other. It was a nice little, you know, banger for a bit until Johnson hurts Mudaerji and gets him onto the ground or whatever. And then I don't know how the hell Mudaerji survived it. I really don't know, bro. But Johnson did a good job controlling him a little bit with the scrambles or whatever. But Mudaerji, I don't know how he survived that, but it was pretty good. In the third round, both guys are just tagging each other, but then, you know, it was all who's gonna get a takedown, and Johnson gets a takedown at the end, and I don't know, he just controlled that third round as well. The energy, man, Charles Johnson, 4 in a row, 4 this year. He is on fire. And, you know, you're thinking to yourself, man, is he gonna call a ranked opponent or something? No. He calls out Lazy Boy, which obviously in the flyweight division, you kind of like don't know who's top 15. You know, this division is obviously dead, like it's a carcass. But, you know, he's super active. All my homies love energy. And maybe he even fights one more time this year, makes it 5, ties Kevin Holland. I don't know. But good job by Charles Johnson, man. He's fun to watch. His fights are really fun to watch in the UFC. On to the co-main. Oh my god. Rob Font versus Kyler Phillips. I picked Kyler Phillips, and Kyler Phillips got fraud checked, man. He got fraud checked in the first round. Rob Font tries to go for a guillotine and loses it, and Phillips stays on top for basically almost the entire round, controlling top position. And then at the end of the round, Rob Font gets up and they start throwing punches, and you can kind of tell that I think Kyler Phillips had no stamina coming into this fight, because then in that second round, Rob Font is just literally pressuring Kyler Phillips, and Kyler Phillips is literally running away like a little girl, accepting that Rob Font is pressuring him and not doing anything, like instead of throwing some spin kicks, why don't you throw some teep kicks? Why don't you throw a jab? Why don't you do something that, or come at Rob Font to, ease the pressure? But no. Kyler Phillips is a fraud. In the third round, you kind of think, all right, maybe Kyler Phillips, MMA labs have taught you to be a grappler. No, you get your takedown stuffed, and on top of that, Rob Font just pressures you the entire third round, and you're there running away like a little girl, not doing crap about it, and just, you're not even throwing back punches, bro. You're letting Rob Font control the fight, and Rob Font is old, dude. You're the younger guy. You beat Pedro Munoz, man. I don't know what this man Kyler Phillips is doing in there, dude. But it wasn't the old Kyler Phillips that was coming up, like karate style, spin kicks, crazy striking. Like, no, bro. This was a different Kyler Phillips. I've never seen this guy before in my life. Everybody in the MMA lab just sucks, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Him and Mario Bautista, everybody in there, somebody Hiroshima that gym. That gym sucks, dude. It really does suck. I don't know how you get fraud checked by Rob Font, bro. This was your fight to win, bro. And I feel like you just saw Rob Font's family cheering for him in the corner, and you said, you know what, you can win this fight, brother. Hey, but I'm not dissing Rob Font, bro. Great win on Rob Font. You used your game plan to destroy Kyler Phillips and fraud check him. Whatever. Great win by Rob Font. On to the main event. Finally, something I could be happy and excited for, bro, because Anthony Fluffy Hernandez is that dog. He is that dog. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. He has that dog inside him, and he is that dog inside the octagon, and the dude is just so good at smothering and breaking down his opponents round by round, dude, and it showed in this fight. It also shows that Michel Pereira has no grappling. No stamina whatsoever. Like, in that first round, Pereira hits him in the body with a kick and was chunking some punches in there. Like, he threw like a 5 combo, and after that, gassed out. It was over. This guy had nothing else in the tank, bro. And Hernandez survived it. He even said, yo, this dude is powerful, dude. Like, strong as hell. Don't even know how we made 170. Don't know how he made welterweight. He survives, and he starts tagging Pereira a little bit, throwing some back fist, and he got the takedown at the end of the round. In the second round, that's it. This man just knew what he had to do. He would take down Pereira, and he would make it super scrappy, a gritty ass fight for him. He would just smother him, ground and pound. He would switch it up to a Darce choke, modified guillotine. Like, basically what he does to every single opponent, man. And it's just break him down. And he did it for every single round after that first round. Every single round after that first round, he would literally just take down Pereira, smother him, ground and pound. Pereira had nothing for him, bro. Absolutely nothing for him. And he would take his back, and he just broke down Pereira this fight. And I think Pereira just gassed himself out looking for the first round finish. And instead of pacing himself, knowing it's a 5-round fight. But that's the thing, though. When Anthony Fluffy Hernandez has amazing cardio, dude. Like, to do all that for 5 rounds, like, I feel like this man could have gone 10. doing the same thing to Pereira. And Pereira, this dude literally just does the same thing to every single opponent non-stop, dude. His stamina is ridiculous, bro. And finally in the last round, Pereira tries to catch this man with a knee, and he takes him down, and he just starts raining elbows on him. And at that point, Herb Dean had seen enough, bro. Pereira's face was mangled, bloody mess, and it was a TKO win for Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. This dude he's pretty dangerous, bro. He's a nice contender, man. He showed a little bit of striking in there. He kind of has to work on that a little bit, maybe. But dude is just insane, dude. Dude is just really insane. And he's fun to watch, bro. It's not like Merab that he takes you down and you're there trying to figure out how to get out. No, bro. This was basically how Renato Moicano defeated Benoit Saint Denis. You get him on the ground, and it's straight ground and pound, bro. Straight ground and pound. And it's kind of crazy that the Merab Sean O'Malley 2, this is what I've heard, might actually happen again. And I'm just thinking to myself, bro, at this point, I wanted to move on from O'Malley, give him another opponent. I wanted to see Umar. Obviously, Umar wanted this fight to happen fast, but Merab is being a little girl and saying, you know what, I don't want this, and Umar got to go through Ramadan. It's a whole mess, whatever. But yeah, dude, this fight card was dog water, dude. You only had 2 finishes on here. At least last week's main event, that main event was crazy. This one, it was just a dominant ass performance by one fighter. This is probably one of the worst fight nights of the year. I just thank God that we have 308 around the corner. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing 308. I have so much to do that day, bro, early on too, but I'm making it happen. I don't care, dude. These UFC cards in the Apex have been so whack as of late. They've been so trash. I wanted to talk about Francis Ngannou a bit and Chris Cyborg. I wanted to make a video on the side. Probably will still. Francis Ngannou getting it done in the first round with straight ground and pound. Doing it for his son Kobe. Rest in peace. I don't know. Francis Ngannou is one of the greatest heavyweights. Whatever. Sad that he's in the PFL. Chris Cyborg, that fight was crazy against Pacheco. She did pretty good. She literally dumped her every single round and was hurting her. That Johnny Eblen versus Fabian Edwards fight was boring as crap. Basically a Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad version, just a Make-A-Wish version. Johnny Eblen did not do anything exciting though. Whatever, it's not even part of this. Whatever. I just can't wait for 308. I'm J-Neps MMA. Like and subscribe. I'm out, folks.